Go ahead and click the like button as soon as you come in.
Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have the unfiltered.
You did not come to college to do marching band. Marching band may be helping pay for you to go to school, but at the end of the day, you're there to study music education.
Unscripted.
Priorities are wrong from the elementary perspective because we're not introducing students to music in an adequate program early enough.
Uncomfortable.
We the blacks, yes, you're gonna be overlooked if you're not producing, if you're not hanging with the cane, if you're not pumping, if you're not blowing, if you're not busting, if you're not entertaining, if you're not on that top level, if you're not in the high stats of visibility, yes, you're going to be overlooked because at the end of the day, we, the blacks, don't care.
Conversation.
All right, we are back for another episode. Let me go ahead and introduce the panel as quick as I can. On my right, we have Quan.
What's up, everybody?
Below Quan, we got Derek.
Yo.
And then under me, pause, we got Rick.
Season's greetings.
Oh, yes. All right, man. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Let us start out the way that we always do by talking about what we have experienced and seen in this past week. Quan, I'm going to start with you, brother.
All right. What I experienced was, I must say, I really wish we would have supported it more, but nevertheless, awesome job on the season of the CWs, the March, with the Prairie View A&M Marching Storm, Dr. Zachary, and all of the students in the cast that was featured. Awesome job. I think that we need to truly, if they're blessed with the second season, they truly need, we as the culture needs to support that show in a better way. Regardless if, Prairie View may not be your favorite band, it is supporting the culture. And I must say in a positive way, Yeah, they had, a little drama here and there, but what band doesn't have in-house drama every now and then? But it shows the culture, the positivity of it. It also showed, excuse me, what band directors are going through at the highest level. Um, it's just time for us to support our own. When we say support Black businesses, that's something that we need to support as well. So awesome job on the last episode. They had a picnic, like a family and friend day at Prairie View on Sunday when that it debuted. So that's something that I enjoyed this past week.
All right. Yeah, I definitely can agree on that. I will say this, I'm gonna give my criticism. I have to say it. That last episode was it was kind of cheesy, but I mean it was. I still agree with everything that you just said. The last episode was kind of cheesy. Like when they was handing out them awards, I was like, really? All
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. Nah, I did.
everybody
I
that
was
was on the cast, like
yeah,
really?
yeah.
So, but yeah, it was great, man. I thought it was a dope show. I thought it was a great show. All right.
And,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
but I do want to say I do like how they paid their respects to the Marching Storm members that did pass away. And honestly, you saw the in my opinion, I ain't thought that was an act when those kids were really dropping tears for their fellow, bandmates. That's something that, when you march next to a person for all that time and you in that family, that's something hard. You know what I'm saying? And if you experience that, that's something not easy to come back from. But I do want to point out, as African American men, being able to show your emotion and truly say, man, like we need to lift each other up. That was something prolific as well.
Definitely. And I'm gonna be honest, I've never experienced that. So to actually watch those young guys go through that and go through that experience. And honestly, I know one of those kids, man. Chris was there when me and Rick were there, was there. And so even when he did pass, that kind of was it was hard on me because I just remember Chris when he came in as a young student, man, and on that EQ staff and just hanging out and just being a really good guy, man. He was a really good guy. So I definitely agree with you with the fact that they actually showed that part and paid respects to those two young brothers. Derek, and what about you, brother?
Hey, let me go, Julian, because I gotta go, man.
No, go ahead, Doc.
Nah, hey, y'all. First of all, shout out to Talk That Talk, man. We were present at the HBCU Band Consortium. Had an opportunity, y'all, to really network and meet some great people. First, I want to shout out the staff of Florida Memorial. Band sounded great in presence.
Told you.
Band has been good all year.
Told you.
We've been singing. They pray we're gonna continue to sing it. Some of these other band programs need to start listening. Shout out to Florida Memorial, man. Got an opportunity to meet the band, a lot of members of the band staff this weekend. Very intelligent, very nice, kind people. Had nothing but great things to say, and they shouted out the show, man. But we're gonna continue to support y'all because y'all are doing the right thing on the field and in the classroom, man. So shout out to Florida Memorial. Shout out to Chuck. Got a chance to meet Chuck in person this weekend. But one of the highlights of the weekend for me, man, and I'll just be brief, and probably one of the highlights of my career, man, is up until this point was I got a chance to meet Dr. Julian White this weekend. Never met Dr. White before in my life. And when I went up and introduced myself, he's like, I know who you are. I've been following your career for years. Almost made me cry, fellas. One of the GOATs, one of the legends in our field knew who I was, and I had never met this man a day in my life. And it lets me know that I'm doing the right thing, right?
Shout music. Shout music.
Right? Like, hey. But no, man, it's like we sit up here, man, we get criticized. Like I saw some of these criticisms that were on the Facebook videos, how we always negative, how we don't talk about this, even though the band that they talked about, we had literally talked about on that show, being great. Shout out to Tennessee State, great band program, one of the GOATs out there. But having one of the biggest names, most prominent musicians in HBCU band culture of all times actually knew who I was, and knew my work, man. It was great. Got a chance to meet Mr. Ron Carter, one of the biggest names in jazz in HBCU band, knew who I was. He even brought up Julian the performance I had done at the consortium a couple of years ago, man. Like, we're making the right moves, y'all. So let's keep it up, man, with what we're doing. But The highlight of the consortium for me was DeSoto High School. And I told y'all I was going to have more on this. This is the more that I have on this. DeSoto High School came out there and performed six pieces for the consortium. And of those six pieces, the closer was Come Sunday by Omar Thomas.
And I heard it. I heard it, by the way.
If they can do it, why can't the colleges? They got a marching band just like y'all. They got solo and ensemble and all these other things that these public schools are doing. If they can put the talent out there as a high school to play Come Sunday by Omar Thomas, why are some of our colleges playing Ascension by Robert W. Smith? They also play Elsa's Procession to the Cathedral. They're playing legit literature as a high school. Some of these colleges ought to be ashamed of themselves, man. They just ought to be. I'll just leave it there because I got to go, man. But shout out to Talk That Talk, man. I love y'all, man. Y'all know who I am, but kudos to all those greats out there. Shout out to Crystal. I got a chance to meet Crystal in person this weekend. She did an excellent job in her presentation on technology and music. Got a chance to really learn some things from her. Shout out to Jack Eady from Western Carolina, who did I went to his conducting symposium. It was great. Like, it's a lot of great people in our field, y'all, that look like us and doing it at a high level. And I wish we had an opportunity to really praise those people more, like that goat that's beside me on the screen right now. I wish some of y'all would go do your research on who that man is right there, because you might learn something. But I got to run, fellas. Prince, man, I love you, bro. But everybody else, man, Quan, Derek, man, y'all my boys, man. You already know. I got to run. Hey, everybody cheer for UConn. I know everybody love to hate us, but our women made it to the Final Four. We got some blue check shout outs for the pep band on Twitter for what we're doing, man. Really had an opportunity to change the sound. So I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Come listen to our pep band on TV, national TV. Tell me what you think. And everybody support UConn women, man. Y'all brothers have a good night, man.
You too,
No,
bro.
you coming back. You coming back, dog. You coming back.
I'll find a corner in the restaurant.
There you
bro.
go. Go get your chicken.
All right, fellas.
All right,
I'll be
bro.
back on later.
All right. Let's do it this way. Derek, go ahead, and then Prince, we got you, bro.
All right, for sure. I guess some of my experience this week, man, it's been assessment season up here in Virginia, man. I just wanted to shout out to all the band directors that have been putting in this work, going through the stress with these students to put out some good products. I've seen some good results. I've seen some real results as well, some things that make us look at ourselves, make us look at our ensembles, the way we teach and whatnot, man. So, just shout out to everybody who's doing assessments. I would say the highlight of this week was kind of dry for me, man. Can I go back to previous week? I deal with the pep band in Norfolk State, man. It was a wonderful time when we went to Fort Worth. We linked up with Baylor's band, North Carolina's band, had a good little network with them, man. They
You
showed
ain't
up.
holler at me when you got here, though, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
Man, I did. You said you was
mean-
more than halfway.
No, I told you to holler at me when you got here.
It's
You ain't
all-
say nothing to me, and I got you hooked up with tubas and everything. See, man, I
You
do
did,
things
you
for
did.
people, man. Good lord. All right, but go ahead, bro.
Nah, but man, we had a good time, man. It was just real interesting. All the bands showed us love, because they're not used to seeing HBCU. That's why I love going in environments like that as an HBCU, because they're not exposed to us, man. I had one guy on during the game. He had I think a North Carolina shirt on. He went upstairs to the concession stand and bought a Norfolk State shirt. It came back down, just started. He was cheering with us the whole time, man. So that's just the kind of infectious atmosphere that an HBCU band brings to a venue like that. So that's probably the highlight for me.
All right, dope. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and welcome Eric Prince to the panel. Prince, what you got for us, bro? Oh, I can't hear you. I can't. We ain't got no sound, and I know you're not on mute. Check your settings. Nope. And if the settings look good, typically what I tell people is just go out and then come back in and see if that works. I ain't got nothing from you. I'm assuming you said you're gonna go out and come back in. I'm guessing. All right, cool. All right, we got you when you come back, bro. All right, man. Yeah, man. I think that a lot of good things are happening, man. I think that when we start looking at what we're doing in this space, I've been just doing a lot of research and just studying and focusing on this page and this channel and everything that's going on, and we're doing some great work, man, and we're touching some great pause. We're touching people in a good way. Uh, I gotta always put that out there, man, because people will take it and go all kind of left. So we just got to make sure that we do the right thing and say things the right way. So, but there are a lot of things coming up very soon. I want to go ahead and say this next week. Next week is going to be a different type of show. So I think it was last show or the show before last. Somebody said it. They said, "Man, we need to have a percussion show." All right, bet. Next week, next Wednesday is the percussion show. And the panel for that show is, yeah, it's pretty nice. So I want you guys, if you guys know anybody, all your percussion people out there, all those people that know anything about percussion, that's the show that you want to be on next week. We're going to put the information, or we're going to put everything out there for people to know who's going to be on that panel. But definitely next week, Wednesday, that show is going to be the percussion show. So get ready for that. All right. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and get with the topics, and then when Eric Prince comes back in, we'll probably put a pause on it for a second so that he can say the thing that he needs to say. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the topic. So let's do it the right way. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. As soon as you come in, go ahead and smash that like daddy. Don't even wait on it. Don't count 2 seconds. Just go ahead. As soon as you come in the door, hit that like daddy. And then also, please make sure that you subscribe to the Passion Is Network. I'm telling you, we got a lot of stuff coming up. We got that percussion show on Wednesday, and we got something else coming up, but we're working on it behind closed doors. We can't let everybody know what it is. So go ahead and subscribe to the network and turn on notifications. You can also check us out on all of your podcasts and networks. Just find us at Real Talk That Talk. All right. Today we are talking about fans. And I know everybody loves this conversation, especially when you were a drum major or something like that and you have fans. All right. So let's get this first thing going. Is there an unhealthy cult following of our band programs? Is there an unhealthy cult following of our band programs? Derek, go ahead, bro.
Okay. Quick answer, absolutely. Yeah, just people are loyal to a fault. Man, sometimes they'll go blind from the ears, blind from the eyes. They'll believe their program is the pinnacle of all programs when even the members in that band program know that that's not the case. It's it's just all about just the association with the name, man. I've had even our band, we've had some performances, some years where we have been really lacking, but guess what? Those fans are going to go hard for you like you are the best there ever was. They will never, they feel like if somebody gives you honest criticism that they're just the biggest hater in the world. And it's kind of like it's killing the. I'll say it's kind of killing the culture for real, man. We had. I don't like to mention names and all that, but the royalty, I'll say it like that. They've had some times where they didn't sound so good, but that cult following, everybody says, "Oh, they're this, they're that, man." Then it bleeds into the high school, and the high school thinks that's what we're supposed to be going for. So it's kind of like a trickle down effect, man. But I do think it is. Yeah, HBCU band. I've never seen anything like this outside of an actual cult where people will, slit their wrists for this band program. I mean, they literally, I've seen people getting in fights over talking about. I mean, literally fights about talking about band programs. Man, I don't know if y'all remember if you was on the HBCU Uncut, maybe when it first started, we had some people get into it over some band programs that actually drove over state lines to confront each other over some band stuff, man. Who does it's band, Who does that, man? You talking about rising to a physical altercation because of your loyalty to a band program. Yeah. So quick answer, yes. Very unhealthy.
All right, Quan.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That should be a soundbite. Hell yeah. But the truth is,
Don't
yes.
tempt me.
Yeah, nah, you can use it. But the truth is, it's so sad to the point where you can't even enjoy the art. You know what I'm saying? To where honestly, it's low key. I'll take it a step further. It's low key like whatever band you marched in is so tribal to where it's like became gang culture. Like if if you from like just say Alcorn. If you from Alcorn, bro, you ride with Alcorn. Of course, to the day you die, somebody say something about Alcorn. Oh, we gonna step on them. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's to that point where after you finish your time marching, you just can't sit back and be like, man, I'm enjoying XYZ. As a band director, I should be able to enjoy all of the arts, all of the pageantry for band. I should be able to sit back and be like, man, this program is good. This is good. These are some things that this particular program should work on, so forth and so on. But I'm also convinced, and this is another nugget that goes with this unhealthy cult following, is this. You can't even give, I'm convinced that as we the blacks, we can't even give corrective criticism at all. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel like what you're saying is a personal attack on that program. And that's not true. You know what I'm saying? You said Royalton, I know where it was going. We talking about Southern. Let's keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't about to hold my tongue no more. The truth is Southern is a great band. Real Talk Southern is like the premier HBCU band every year. Let's just put that out there every year. However, there are some moments when it's like, ooh. And the difference is because they're so good, when they have those moments, it's low-key magnified. Like we just gonna be honest. You know what I'm saying? So when they have their moments, it's like, damn, like Southern is human. That's how we low-key look at it, right? But there's other programs out there that's doing the thing too. There's like Florida Memorial. Like I've always brought them up. FAMU. Like I remember when FAMU first came down it's not Crackerberry anymore, it's Pepsi. But for the very first one, right, they had a guy that marched for the 100. And they had kind of already had placed who was going to go against who in the stands. So FAMU was going to go against Southern. And we was in the crowd, a few of us from Prairie View, because FAMU was practicing at a local high school, Willow Ridge High School at the time. And we was like, man, y'all going against Southern. Y'all better put some air through them horns. And the dude was upstairs and was like, nah, they just got to do this. And, we fam. And so we was like, say, bro, I know what you're saying. But you saying you're going against Southern, bro. It's different. You know what I'm saying? So, and I understand riding for your team. But you got to understand, bro, like, who's your opponent, so to speak. But, I mean, it's truly unhealthy to where you can't even enjoy it, honestly. And, like, just making a simple comment will result for you to being verbally attacked. And what's crazy is some of the people that march for these bands that's attacking you ain't even marched long. That's a whole different story. Like, they might have marched a semester, became whatever that band or that section is, and they be going about their business, but they hold on to that for the rest of their life. It's like, come on, bro. But I've seen people get into fights too. No lie, I've gotten to a physical altercation behind saying something within my own band. So I feel you. But I mean, it is what it is, man.
So here's a follow-up question for that. Does some of the unhealthy obsession and some of the unhealthy cult following come from people who didn't even march or go to that school?
Some of them, yeah. Some of them. I mean, like, like it's funny. I'm not gonna mention her name because she's my cousin. Like real talk, she my cousin, and I'm going home for Easter, so I don't want to say her name, but my cousin is such a diehard Southern fan to where when I told her I was going to PV, bro, I just said her name Coco. I see it. My mama make a potato salad. So when I see you, like she was so mad at me, y'all, that I was going to Prairie View to where she stopped talking to me for a couple of months. You know what I'm saying? Like she just dogged Prairie View. And I was like, but I'm going to school. She was like, F that. You supposed to go to such and such. You messing up the family such and such. You doing this. And I was like, baby, you didn't even march for the jukebox. You're not even the juke. You didn't even stay on campus. You didn't even go to the school. But just the mere fact that I said I was going somewhere else, it was furniture moving time. I'm telling you, people be like that, man. Because but I must say this. Out of all the places in the world, you're not going to find more diehard fans, in my opinion, than Southern. Especially in that southern aspect of Louisiana. Just being honest.
Yeah, man. I do agree with you that I don't think it's just the people that didn't march or didn't go to the school, but they do play a big part. I think social media has opened that gateway for, I guess, the non-band audience, which is it's a deep following, to kind of bleed into the band world, you know. So it's all one thing now. I remember, at a time it was like if you marched in this band, you marched in this band. You played in the HBCU band. That's their own circle. Then everybody else was outside. Now it's just all open. And like you said, some of those members that maybe marched a year, some people that didn't march, some people that didn't go to school are more passionate about. I'm not even gonna say passionate, obsessed with the program than the people that put in 3-4 years to the program. The leadership in the program, they're more obsessed with it, man. They're willing to take things to further lengths. And they also aren't caring about, see, I think one thing that's really big, they can say and do things and there's no consequence to them within that band program because they're not associated with that band program. If I'm a band member, I can't go on social media going crazy right now because guess what? I'm gonna be in the band director office on Monday, and he's gonna be showing me a screenshot of what I said. There's no consequence to it. Band members, they'll take stuff too far sometimes, but like I said, it's a consequence. They know when to stop, when to fold them, and when to hold them. But when you just a fan, who gonna stop you? You can do whatever you want. I'd say people do some wild stuff. Even some of my friends had one friend get in a social media argument with a band director who should not be named, and threatened to show up to his band practice and beat the band director. Had no association with this program, and he was on his way to that band room. Had it not been for some intervening situations, that could have been something catastrophic. And this dude had no association with this program, but like I said, man, some people it's not associated with just take stuff way too far, way too far.
But what's crazy is y'all, what happened to the days when your band director used to tell y'all don't post nothing on the internet?
Well, see, the thing about that is most of these band directors are band heads. Most of these band directors don't have, I ain't gonna say because first of all, well, yeah, most of these band directors don't have that thought process of doing that. They want to be just as ignorant as the kids. So I think that's the other side of that. I think that answers that question. The ones that allow their kids to do that, and they want to be just as ignorant as the kids.
So I know both of y'all marched for the Legion. So was that a rule for y'all? Because
absolutely not. Dr. Sanford would always. I could. Well, first of all, I can only speak from my time, and in my time, the only thing that was out was the fifth quarter during my time. So So that was really your only smack board. But I will tell you straight up, Dr. Sanford would come into that room and say, y'all don't be posting nothing on them websites. If they want to do something, tell them to meet you on the gridiron. That's all he would say. But don't be going on them websites posting anything.
Yeah, because
we always used to say, yeah, just meet me on the 50.
Because it was crazy, like, of course it wasn't, social media wasn't as big, but we had marching sport, bandhead.org. I think, was it Fifth Quarter at the time? We had a few forums, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it wasn't, I know when I arrive at Prairie View, even in those 6 Prof Ed say don't post nothing, just leave it on the field. And that was the concept of it. Like, we never went back and forth with other band programs.
But you also got to understand, like Dr. Sanford telling us to leave it on the gridiron or meet me on the 50 or leave it on the field, all that kind of stuff. That's when people cared about field shows. Like, field shows don't matter anymore. So, I mean, all people can do is talk a bunch of crap to each other and all that kind of stuff, because of the fact that all they want to do is crank up in the stands anyway. So I think that's the other side of it. But here's the other thought that I had. It's 2 thoughts that I had. One, the people who didn't march and the people who are not necessarily affiliated with that program are usually the ones who make the biggest noise, who cause the biggest ruckus. Your cousin, right? But 2, I don't want you to slap me because I'm talking about your cousin. I don't Will Smith me, man. But 2, the other half of that, and this is what I was thinking about when the conversation that me and you had, Quan, behind on the phone. A lot of those people are them people from the 2000s era. If you think about it, the 90s folks don't really talk that much noise. But them 2000s, all them 2000s, that's where you get the most lip from. What happened? And I marched during that era, right? But I just got to know what happened with us during, and people in the chat, y'all may can answer this question too, because I see a lot of people who marched during my time too. What happened during that era that just made people so delusional that they have to go nuts in social media to try to protect their quote unquote brand? I just got to know. Somebody answer that.
These comments are killing me, dog. These comments killing me.
Well, they said Floyd.
Yeah, I've never met that gentleman, but hey, he go hard for the ocean. I'm
gonna be honest, I have no idea who you're talking about.
So I don't have a comment up in it, but it's a gentleman named Floyd. I believe he marched for the ocean, right? And hey, ain't nothing. When I understand me, ain't nothing that boy could say about the ocean. I don't care what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? It's Jesus, it's God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, ocean. Period. That's how it is.
All right, I ain't know he was that gung ho. I don't know that guy. That is this somebody in the uncut?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, I don't even be in. I'm not in the uncut no more, so I can't even.
You gotta poke your head in sometimes. You're like,
tight. Once they did that rejoint, I was like, I'm good. I don't want to be in that mess no more. I'm okay with that. I'd rather be around some other stuff that is a little bit more positive. I'll let y'all tell me about the ratchets. But yeah, man. But what I like Portia's answer, but what happened in the 2000s that just made us completely delusional and lose our minds? And I've got it. I was just wondering that, man, because I know that Quan, we talked about it kind of briefly.
I think maybe what it is because of the hype of what social media does. People fail to realize that a lot of, back in the day, a lot of those directors were friends. You know what I'm saying? Like I know Julian's aspiration is to eventually be a collegiate band director as well as mine. So if we, both are at HBCUs or at, whatever colleges or universities, And I know I'm battling, or going against meeting Julian on the 50. I'm gonna meet him on the 50 with respect and reverence. I'm not gonna be like, F that boy, we gonna and then I'm on the internet. If the band director in the middle of the field and do this, come to Death Row Records. Like, we're not gonna be like that. You know what I'm saying? I'll just have a sense of adoration for my partner, and then we're gonna dap each other off. You know what I'm saying? But it's okay to have that sense of that competitiveness, but it's another thing to go and be disrespectful. And I think, again, the reflection of your band is a reflection of the director. So that's how. Side note, I got my cousin on the phone and I'm telling her straight up, yeah, I'm talking about you. When you was talking about me going to Prairie View, I said it.
Nah, don't mute it now. I wanted to hear what she was gonna say.
Oh no, she looking at something. What you got to say?
Eric, what were you about to say, bro?
Nah, man, I think that age, man, you talking about the early 2000s, like I seen in the comments, man, that's the rise of social media right there. You all got to see it all. I'm talking about from Bebo, MySpace, the beginning of Facebook, so you all were, adults for all of that, man. And I think you all are pretty apt at that technology. I think the 90s, the people in the 90s still in, they're in social media, but they're not really in it like, early 2000s cats are. I think it's just the perfect age, man. And y'all, I don't know. You brought up a real good point when you kind of specified that generation, because then I started thinking about the loudest people that I see on social media in the band world, and that's perfectly. I'm talking about the people that march from, I'm gonna say 99 to 2005. Those are like the cats out here that I know just. And I ain't talking about March. Let me say went to school from 99 to 2005. I had to clarify. All right, yeah. But those the loudest cats out here. I don't know. It could have been social media. We should do an experiment on that one day, or a survey. Why do you talk so much trash on social media about a program that you ain't been around for 15, 20 years? It is crazy though.
Some people ain't been around. I mean, if you came in my era, I will tell you, you probably had somebody from '97 still marching, bro. Somebody from like '96, maybe '95 still marching. I mean, that was during and that was a different time. That was a different age. That was during the time where people could literally not go to class, but they could show up for band practice and go on the trips, and they weren't checking nothing. Wasn't nothing going down, and you got your refund check. You was good. You left the school in the spring. You came back in the fall and did it all over again, man.
Hey, because they because because they was changing their major like 10 times and didn't have that financial aid cap. That's what that was.
And I'm gonna keep it a buck. This is I'm gonna keep it a buck. There are some people who graduated from the marching band but didn't graduate from the school. I mean, let's keep it real. They come around, they be like, I'm whatever band name alumni, but you be like, what year you graduate? Oh man, I'm still working on it, bro. I'm still working on it. Like,
I went to community college and I finished there. I got my certification. But I'm still, God's still using me. I bet I feel you, man. I'm a percussion instructor at the local school. So, that's how I give back,
Man, I'm sorry, but you with the raspy voice and you just came with it, dog. That really sounds like one of them old dudes, man. All right, man. Let's keep it rolling, dog. Y'all are terrible. That wasn't me. That was Quan. All right, welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about band, HBCU, band culture, music education, and more. As soon as you come in, go ahead and smash that like daddy. That comment section has been going crazy, yo. This is like the most active I've seen the comment section in only the first topic. So,
hey, Charles said the swag messed up for everybody.
I mean,
I disagree, but damn,
I don't disagree though. But yeah, man, y'all go ahead and smash that like that, and also subscribe to the network, man. If you on YouTube, subscribe to the network. If you watching this on Facebook, come over to the YouTube, subscribe to the network, and also make sure you turn on notifications. And you can find us on all your podcasts and areas. Just find us at Real Talk. There's Talk That Talk. Good Lord, now y'all got me messing it up. Find us at Real Talk That Talk. This episode will be uploaded in the next 24 hours. All right. And also, I don't disagree with him at all. I absolutely do not. Swag did mess it up, bro.
Swag ain't messed up nothing.
Swag messed it up, bro. And listen, the Swag didn't mess it up in a way of saying like it's all Swag's fault. Swag messed it up in a way of saying, and we always got to go back to the original, reason. After Robert Champion, the energy and the everything of the Swag just took over HBCU marching band.
I respectfully disagree.
As a person from the SWAC, I'm pretty sure you would.
Nah, because Red Talk, the SWAC really moved HBCU band culture. You're gonna keep it a buck.
I'm not gonna deny that either, though. But that also doesn't mean that the SWAC wasn't capable of holding things back too.
I respectfully disagree. All I'm saying is this: if you have an aspect of trendsetters that move a culture, that's why I say I'm only disagreeing in regards to the Robert Champion scenario. All I'm saying is I feel like, and we're just gonna keep it a buck. Southern actually moves band culture. You just gotta be honest, bro. They do.
I agree.
They do. And so, I mean, when you have a prolific band like that,
I'm gonna agree, but I'm gonna slightly disagree in the sense that Southern moved. What? Anyway, Southern
Charles owned it, bro. Like I know y'all can't see these comments. Charles said we ain't got no home train. No, he's
I saw
it today, bro.
But yeah, I would say Southern moved the culture, but I don't think they're moving the culture now because I think now the culture itself is on autopilot now. It's kind of taking off in its own trajectory. Now, does that trajectory necessarily mean it's good? I don't know. But I can definitely say they were the catalyst for where it's moving to.
I think they moved it to a point, and I think they moved the needle to where, honestly, in my opinion, let's just keep it a buck, other bands had to low-key catch up. This is why I say that, because now with social media, if you look at the evolution of, for example, like FAMU, like their shows, their show style, they're doing picture shows and different things like that. That's a DCI aspect. I would have, being sincere, I would have expected that from the MEAC, specifically if I look at Norfolk. If you look at Norfolk, I think when it comes to their own style, their own sound, and what they do, even a percussion section, they're in, honestly, a league of their own. Because, like, you really can't compare the Legion to really no other black band. And that's just being fair. I think the MEAC had their own identity overall. So if you look at Norfolk, you can't compare them to Bethune because they just was two different bands, right? Sound, they both were the same.
You're talking about old MEAC, right? Because that new MEAC,
old MEAC, old
new MEAC ain't got nobody but Norfolk. But go ahead.
Right. And so then when you look at NCAT prior to, NCAT kind of had like a swag-ish aspect, we're taught, and then they developed into their own, right? And so then who said stagnant? And so then if you look at real talk, if you look at the SWAC, if you really wasn't doing 8 to 5, really what you was doing, and then if you're going to be honest, Prairie View, we was doing aspects of picture shows from FAM. So I mean,
okay.
I'm just saying. So if being sincere, if you was in the SWAC and you was doing 8 to 5, you was being compared to Southern, and Southern, to their credit, they perfected it. Now, so my cousin talked about, she didn't march for Southern, y'all. She did not march for Southern, y'all. But I'm not gonna say nothing, so because I want to make sure my auntie cook when I get there. But all I'm saying is,
why don't you just give your cousin the link instead of having her listen to you on the phone?
Because the reason why I don't want to give my cousin a link because I don't want to embarrass the family because y'all don't know her, man. I know her. I'm good right here. But all I'm saying, but I agree with Lauren. Real talk. Southern does to a degree control the swag culture. We just have to be a buck. Now, I do think Jackson State is pushing that. I do. I do feel like Jackson State is pushing that. I think Prairie View, my own alma mater, is honestly they're cool with their identity for who they are at this particular time.
I mean, they all they got, they all they need.
And that's it. And I'm with that too. They all they got, they all, and we all we need. I'm riding with the home team. See, cut me.
Hey, look, for real, if we talking about pushing the culture, man, I think one band that we're really forgetting, even though I hate them with a passion, is North Carolina A&T, man.
Hate is a very strong word.
Is now
Why,
every word
why do you hate them?
it's just a rivalry, man. I love them. It's a love-hate thing, you know.
I would say dislike.
Dislike during the off season when we see each other, it's definitely hate for sure. Yeah,
Christian values won't allow me to let you use hate. But go ahead.
I feel it. But man, A&T, man, they did something different. If we're talking post-Robert Champion, man, you know, they're the band HBCU, and I might be misquoting myself, but bringing theme shows to the halftime, upping their social media presence. You know, we're talking about let's put on some. Let's not just make a band film with, you know, a wide shot and a wide shot. That's pretty much what we used to see on band tapes, was just the shot from the center where the press box is. You know, they started making it like a cinematic journey, you know. So they kind of put a lot of pressure on a lot of HBCU bands to up their media department, man, get a little bit innovative with their shows. And I've seen it bleed out to other bands as well. You know, I mean, naturally as it should, because as a culture, we should be looking at each other and what does this band do well? How can we do this well as well? You know, how can we make it our own? So I think the A&T was a catalyst for, you see these, I'm going to say the top 10 bands all have really, really, really good media teams now. They have a whole team. It's not just one guy that used to march in the band, they got a camera. You know, they have a team. Most of them have worked it out with their school where they have mass comm interns. And, you know, they're really putting on some real good productions for this, man. I think A&T did a lot to shape the culture for what we see now. And another thing, they was talking about shaping, this is the SWAC. You said the SWAC ruined it, man. A lot of these band directors have got a little active on social media too, man. I know we kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, but you know, a lot of these band directors are now social media celebrities. You know what I'm saying? They're friends with everybody on there. Everything they say is like breaking news or something like that, man. So I think that did a lot to change the culture, because now these band directors are a lot more accessible than they were before. You don't have to be in that band program to access them. So I think that's changed a lot of ways that we react and respect other bands, man. Because you'll see the band director talk, and I've seen quite a few band directors talking trash candidly on social media to other bands, you know. And when the students see that, when prospective members see that, they feel like that's okay as well. So I think that has a lot to do with the culture that we're in, the climate that the culture is in right now, with the trash talk, with all the students that we were just talking about going a little bit too far in the comment sections and all that. I think the band directors are at fault for it as well.
But I mean, but it's a marketing tool now. Like, we're just going to be honest, social media is a marketing tool, and we've said it. Like I say, to back in the day, to truly get a band tape was hard. Is it Lamick? LAM?
I think, yeah.
Like
videos.
Yeah, like he was the GOAT, bro, for breaking band clips, and I don't know how he get them. I mean, he a part of Illuminati or something like that for band clips or something like that, but like he always had the clips, right? And I think Garrett is a GOAT for what he started doing. And if we're just gonna be sincere, you have to go back and give credit where credit is due. Garrett started the trend, and people are now trying to catch up with him in regards of videos. Like, he started doing the videos. They started there on YouTube. After they started doing that, they started doing drones. I mean, they started doing band rehearsals to where they were playing songs and then they were live streaming on YouTube. I know that NCAT, they later did it excuse me, which was an awesome, like their band room sessions is immaculate. You know what I'm saying? But I think with social media and YouTube, that's the trend, bro. That's the trend.
All right. Let's get on to the next topic. Boy, that comment section is going nuts. All right. Next topic. Have fans ruined musicianship in our programs? Have fans ruined musicianship in our programs? Quan, you got it first.
I mean, that's kind of tough. I think they influence it, but I don't think ruin it. Um, and I say the reason why I said it is because every band director should still hold their own integrity no matter what. But one thing, even Justin mentioned it on the show, Drumline has taught us several things. With certain administrators and administrative aspects, guess what? They want to be entertained first, then they want to be taught. And that's just the reality of what we fall in. So I won't quote unquote say fans, but if we put fans as a culprit, we have to tie them with administration. We have to tie them with both of them. But at the end of the day, one thing that we did see that was about that movie that was real. That band director held his integrity for what he believed in. And I believe that when you have a specific standard as a band director, you stand on that hill and you die on that hill. You die on that hill for musicianship. But like I say, to answer your question, Julian, do I feel like it's fans influence it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like we've been on the show and PV, when y'all was there, y'all took out Entertainment Tonight. Y'all got emails later and was like, put it back in the show, and it was back in. So that's influence, but that still did not delineate from the standard of Dr. Zachary and that staff.
All right. Derek.
Yeah. So, yes, I think we all can agree that the fans, to an extent, I don't want to say they ruined musicianship, but I think us, in an attempt to please fans and to get a rise out of them, what we have seen from bands that are successful at that is simply volume. A lot of fans get excited for something that bumps and is the loudest thing they've ever heard. So we've had, there's the bands are out here now trying to achieve that on like every piece that they're arranging, every piece that they're playing. It's got to be loud. It's got to bump. If not, we won't get a rise from the crowd. The crowd's not going to go crazy. The crowd's not going to feel it. But at the same time, I can't just blame it on the crowd because we got to think about the music that's out here. Now, there's good music out here. There's really, 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 really good music out here. However, that good music is not the most popular music. It's not the thing that the people in the audience are all listening to right now. The stuff that the people in the audience are listening to is really simple in rhythm, simple in harmony. And, it's when we talk about bass, drums, some simple stuff. So I think it's several different variables for why musicianship, just to say, musicianship has dropped down significantly. Even since I was in the band, I was, not too long ago. Let me say that I was a rookie, 10, 11 years ago or something like that. So even since then, man, just what people expect for a band to perform and what they feel like is going to be entertaining to them has definitely changed. Just the standard of it. Other than if you talk about if you're in an audience full of band heads and musicians, that's different. But if you're in your regular football audience where you don't have that same pool of people that are listening for something impressive, you got to play your crowd though. So I think it's not just the fans. I think it's several different variables why the musicianship has fallen between our bands.
So I want to kind of go back on one of the things that I think it was you who said it, Derek, the music, right?
Yeah.
I just kind of remember being a person back in the 90s, and I was that kid who, of course, I listened to the typical rap music, the Biggie and the Tupac, because that was like large back then, Crucial Conflict. And so I listened to all those different groups and different people. But at the same time, I was also listening to, Nirvana and Red Hot Chili Peppers, and a lot of those groups at the same time. I couldn't tell nobody that I was listening to it because then you look like the lame if you was listening to that, right? But I say all that to say, like you said, there is good music out there, but I think that nobody wants to look like the lame to bring it out and play it, because I think that there's an abundance of people who listen to all the things that are available out there, all the stuff that does have the musicality out there. But there are very few people who want to be the first people to step out and play it because they don't want to lose quote unquote fans. I remember back in my heyday of marching that it used to be, if somebody was playing rap daddies all day, we would talk about them because they were playing triads and whole notes all the time. But now that seems to be the norm. You're not getting Jackson State Malaguenas anymore, or uh, Getaway anymore. You're not getting those anymore. And that used to be the standard, and they may pull out one of the rap daddies. Now the rap daddies with the whole notes, half notes, extremely loud euphoniums, mellophones playing in trumpet range, second trumpet range, that seems to be the norm. But is that dictated by the fans, or is that dictated by the music?
I was gonna say, man, it's definitely the music, man. But at the same time, there are certain bands out here that can do what you were saying, play the stuff that's not as popular and get away with it, man. But there's probably 5 bands I could probably count on my hand that can do that. But that's because they've been doing that. They're known for doing that. Most of these other bands, man, they can't. They'll get booed because they're playing something different that nobody just ever heard of. Unless it's, I think band fans do when somebody executes something flawlessly. I think some of them can agree that it sounds good. They may not be too excited about it, but there's only a few bands that can play the real good music that nobody knows about and still get that ride out of their whoever their audience is. So,
But I think you kind of just hit something, right? Like you said that they can play something and the fans won't get too excited about it.
yeah.
And I think it was Justin who said it who put it in the comments on last show, and it may have been Justin and Eddie. Fans and what the fans thinks gets clicks, right? So, for instance, and I'm just gonna use this as an example. You know, let's say PV plays Getaway, and they play it very well, right? And then Jackson turns around and plays a rap daddy with the baritones and the horns and blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff, right? Who's gonna get the most crowd reaction?
Depends.
Now I think you're being disingenuous, bro.
No. The reason why I say depends is because Getaway is a famous EWF. Like if you no, and I'm being sincere. If like you find something like within the album that maybe people don't know, and even though it's cranking, I mean it. So, but Getaway is a band classic.
But you just listen to what you said.
Mm-hmm.
One, you said it was a band classic. Two, you said it is a song that quote unquote people know, right? We're
Mm-hmm.
talking about this generation of kids. We're talking about this generation of spectators. Everybody knows In the Stone, but if I'll give another band because I don't always want to use PV as an example. I'll say it. If Texas Southern played In the Stone,
Mm-hmm.
nobody's gonna be like, "Oh man, that was sweet." But oh dog, they was killing it. No, they won't. They're gonna be like, "All right, that was nice. Let's crank up though." You know what I'm saying? Like, so that literally goes back to what are the fans dictating the musicianship, right? Because if Texas Southern played In the Stone or Getaway or anything that has any technical prowess to it, they're probably doing it because they want to keep the integrity, like you said. If you go back to the drumline aspect, they want to keep the director wants to keep the integrity of the program and the musicianship of that program, right? But the fans,
But I think, so I see the point of view of how you're going, So from that perspective, I would agree, right, that the fans do dictate. But what I realized is, but if you're a good band director, you truly need, honestly, a balance of both. So like when we marched, so I crab '06. Derek, you was a rookie. Y'all say rookie. What year?
11.
11.
Yeah.
So that's about, that's a little bit of a difference. But the reality of it is this, man. I remember a time when I used to look at band clips, and the very first thing after y'all played Star Spangled Banner and warmed up and everything, people used to battle with marches. Like in the beginning, that was the first thing you heard. Now, granted, everybody low key was playing Purple Carnival, Barnum and Bailey, what is it, Rolling Thunder, something like that. But you would hear that. Then you would go through the games, and then y'all will be playing. So if somebody played EWF, you had to play something that was comparable to EWF with some certain aspects of musicality. I think now, like you said, Julian, with all the rap daddies, bro, what is there to compare it to? A rap versus rap? You see what I'm saying? Like that's why I think everybody was so excited about like Leave the Door Open and that album, because it was the first time in years that we had an album truly of music that was popular by the masses. So I mean, I see where you're going with it, Jay. And so if from that point of view, I would have to agree. But to be a solid band program, you're gonna have to have both, because you have band heads in that crowd and you have musicians. The musicians will be like, God damn, they played that. That's how you get the kids in. That's how you get a mixture of both, because you need band heads and you need musicians that hopefully overrides that band head culture.
I agree with you saying a mixture of both, but I want to challenge y'all, man. Go back to your schools tomorrow. Ask your kids, do they know who Earth, Wind, and Fire is? I asked my kids yesterday. I said, do y'all know who Earth, Wind, and Fire is? They was like, who? I was like, huh? I mean, I was awestruck. Now they recognize some songs if they heard them. It's like, oh, that's them. I'm talking about high school, So the music that we felt was a standard to us, that was like, if you a band head, you know all of this stuff, all the funk, everything. We knew this, just not even just being like, old souls or nothing like that. We just knew it. It was standard. Everybody knew it. It's not like that no more. I seen somebody in the comments talk about, we playing TikTok music. That's what the kids love. I wrote a little song for the North State Pep Band. That little spin, a little time, would be like do 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 do. They hear that trumpet sound, whatever, and they did a little dance. I wrote that for the Pep Band, man. We played it the first time. The crowd went crazy. You probably don't know the song. It's a TikTok song.
I feel like I'm old now. Like I don't
Listen,
even know what it is.
I don't listen. I have accepted the fact that I am the out of touch band director, but this is also the reason why I say I probably need not be in the secondary environment anymore, because I'm just that one who's like, I don't care about no TikTok. As a matter of fact, I get tired of seeing all these kids and this kid. As soon as I walk out of my room, I'm so sick of that. Like that gets on my nerves. Like, put your phone away and actually do some work. Like, you're failing, but you got these dances though. You can remember these dances,
Yeah.
but you can't remember what 2 + 2 is.
But
So
that's
I'm
the
sorry,
generation.
I'm not on the TikTok train, bro. So I have no idea what you're talking about. But I
Well, look,
trust you. I trust you.
yeah, I asked them kids what songs they listening to, man. That's what they told me. And we performed it at a basketball. I'm talking about a college basketball game, man. The crowd went crazy. Everybody started doing the dance in unison, like it was a cha-cha slide. Like, it. But that's what this generation knows. They don't know it. They don't know Earth, Wind, and Fire. They even talk about the '90s, Tony Tone. They don't know Donnell Jones. They don't. They don't know these artists. They don't know their repertoire. So, the music is going to change. The fans are going to change. We still got our faithful old heads, but the older they get, the less and less they're coming out to events like that. So yeah, it's changing.
I will say this, and I did forget that I actually did this. I did ask my students who an artist was, and 50% of them had absolutely no clue. I asked them who Michael Jackson was. and they had no clue of who Michael Jackson. That was at 50% of the class. So, and then I had one kid who said Michael Jackson wasn't that good. I was about to kick him out, but like you're not gonna disrespect Michael, bro.
Not the
But
king.
not yet, absolutely not. But so yeah, I kind of I get what you're saying, Derek, on that front. What were you gonna say, Quan?
Nah, well, I guess y'all kids don't wake up Saturday morning and clean up because all my kids knew it. I'm just saying, and they sing old school songs like the Mighty Clouds of Joy, going up beyond. Like they know them. They the ones that they literally play. Betty Wright, Tonight Is the Night. They the ones that's playing Marvin Gaye. Like they know that, and they want to actually. So I'm blessed. I'm blessed, y'all.
Hey, you in
My
the
kids
South.
do.
I forgot about you in the South. I'm in Virginia. We not quite the South yet.
Virginia's not the South.
It's not the South. Yeah.
Virginia's not the South. I don't care. I don't listen. Going see now I'm about to talk about things in the past, right? Going to Virginia was the most frustrating thing that I'd ever had to deal with because of the fact that they be like, yeah, man, we up here, we down here in the South. I was like, bro, y'all are not the South. Most of y'all think y'all from New York and New Jersey. Like, and listen to what think they're from New York and New Jersey. Like they are not from the South. Dog, Virginia's not the South, dog. They're at all. But I'm sorry, I digress.
I
My,
wholeheartedly agree. I'm from Maryland, so I know I'm not the South. But
my kid, my kid is different because most of my kids they've been raised by Mamo, Madea. You know, they've been raised by some grandma. You know, I got some kids that know how to make a roof from scratch. I'm just saying at this point. So
yeah,
they just different.
You got a blessing in your band room, brother. That's most of them, most of these students don't know. As a matter of fact, I don't usually bring up comments in the chat, but looking at what Charles said, I got a student who walks in every day wearing an artist shirt, and they came in with Ice Cube one day, and I was like, "Do you know who that is?" And she was like, "Yeah, that's Ice Cube." I was like, "Dope. Do you know any of his music?" And you can't use "Today Was a Good Day." And then she was like, "Nah." I was like, "Well, then you don't know who that is. You looked at one movie and you thought that you did you." I was like, "Oh my god!" And she did it every day. I was like, "Man, yeah, they just get these clothes and they talk these talk, but they don't know who these artists are." Like I said, you Quan, you would find a diamond in the rough, brother. So hey, enjoy that old school music. You can pull out all them classics for them kids and they'll love it. But anywhere else, you better play a rap band and it better have some loud baritone in it. If it don't, it's tight.
Nah,
Anyway,
my kids we want to do before I let go. I mean, that's what they want to do.
see, man, that's dope. See, I was blessed. I was blessed in my last high school that them kids ain't know none of that music. They didn't watch. I came from a really weird situation. They didn't even watch band. So, yeah, they didn't watch band. I had to teach them about band. So it didn't matter who was playing what. It really didn't matter because it didn't resonate with them anyway. So I could have brought anything in there. So yeah, anything I brought in there was good. When I brought in Baby Shark, they got excited, and then they was hyped to play it, and then they got tired of playing it. So yeah, absolutely. All right, man.
Charles on it today, boy. Charles on it, man.
Hey, man. He's excited, man, because he came back from that consortium. He's ready to talk that talk. So it's all good. All right, man. Let's keep it moving. Oh shoot, I hit my microphone. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. As soon as you come in, go ahead and smash that like, daddy. We got to get these likes up. Let's make the number of likes match the number of viewers that we have. Also, hey man, it's a lot of chatter going on in that comment section, man. If you chat, man, go ahead and hit that like button. It's not gonna hurt you, man. We got to get that algorithm going. All right. Also, please make sure that you subscribe to the Passion Is Network and turn on notifications. You can also find us at all your podcasting networks. Just look up Real Talk That Talk. This episode will be uploaded in the next 24 hours. Also, we are on our last topic already. Yeah, man. We on the last topic. So as soon as I announce this last topic, I'm gonna put the link in the chat so that you can come in and call in with us. Scarfing, you better try to hurry up and get that link. Justin gonna beat you to it, bro. As soon as I put it in, Justin be on it. He was like, "Where that link at?" Boom. All right. Here we go. Here's the last topic. Do transfer students forget where they came from? Do transfer students forget where they came from? Derek, you thinking about this one, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna say almost the opposite. Sometimes they try to bring where they came from to where they're going. Which is understandable. You gotta have pride in where you came from. And we talk about like bandsmen, right? Current bandsmen, like
Yeah.
transfer school, yeah. So sometimes I think you'll find both situations. You'll find some people that leave one school because they dislike that school. So yes, they definitely forgot where they came from. Shoot, if you want to talk about Talladega, man, when Talladega first came on the scene, it seemed like that whole band was full of transfers, man. Shoot, I had some rookie brothers that was in that band from North State. So, I think that situation, I don't think any of those people forgot where they came from. However, where they were at right now was the priority, which it should be. So I don't want to fault them for that. But I think for most part, nah, they don't forget where they came from. Most of the time, they got so much pride that when they get to the other band program, it's like, y'all know where I came from? Y'all know who I am? Y'all know what I did at this other program? Man, I was such and such, such and such. Or they'll talk themselves up big. They may not be that good, but they'll definitely talk themselves up big. I've had quite a few transfers come. Some successful, some not, because they didn't want to, be a rookie again, be a crab again. That's really tough. I understand. I wouldn't want to be a rookie or a crab again either. So, but yeah, I don't think that's the case. I don't think they forget where they come from. I think it's the opposite, honestly.
All right, Quan. Do transfer students forget where they came from?
So from my experience, they don't. So we had a brother that transferred, and this is crazy, from Texas Southern to Prairie View, and everybody knows our rival. We was like, bro, like, what are you doing? But it was a trumpet player. He transferred from one school to the next, and he had very much so pride about his section and what they did, and so forth and so on. However, I've never experienced a transfer student when I was marching in the drum section. And if I could be quite frank, we didn't give a shit. You gonna do what the box say, bro. And that's just what it was. So I can't speak too much on it, but it is what it is. I know Julian, he moistened his lips up to be like the box. Yeah, the box, bro. It's just what it was, bro.
I wasn't even gonna say nothing about the box actually, but I mean, since you brought it up, man, y'all so aggressive, man.
But we were.
Hey, man, I ain't gonna talk about that.
It was in our heart, you know what I'm saying?
I bet you it was. I bet you it was.
but nah, I can't speak too much about it. And like I just have to yield the floor to Derek on that. But the one experience of the person that I had, he was like, man, I'm such and such this section, and this is what it is, and this is. I was like, all right, bro, whatever you say. But you hear them, so I mean,
I will say this. In my experiences, it's very interesting the transfer students that I have seen, because the transfer students that I have encountered completely forget that they marched in a program prior to them coming to that other program, right? Like it's okay to be like, I'm here now, so I'm going to respect that I'm here now, right? But then the conversation that you have is interesting to me, right? Because it's like you start talking about the school you came from like you never went there, like you were never a part. And I think, to me, that is the most disingenuous thing I've ever seen in my life, right? Like, F that school, dog. Like, they trash. I'm like, bro, you marched there. Like, no, I didn't. Yeah, you did. Like, this is you. This is a picture of you in the whole uniform, right? So, I mean, how do you guys feel? Or you probably have not been privy to that, but how do you all feel about, that type of transfer student?
I wouldn't trust me personally. If you could talk about someone where you had pledged your loyalty to before, and you come here talking trash about that program, I feel like you're gonna do the same thing if you leave from here too, man. I wouldn't trust you. But that's just me personally. I do respect a person that has pride for the school that they were at, but you got to respect where you're at right now as well. That's what I'm looking for in a transfer student. But don't bash school. We actually had somebody that uh, had that situation before they left. They left. I'm be candid. They left Norfolk. They went to another school in the South. Talking trash about Norfolk.
So
It got down there and had a how can I say unpleasant time, and ended up coming back up to Norfolk, and tried to be a part of the family. It was like, hold on, bro. You was like on social media, on video, be like, F this, being F us. Like, it's like, bro, you want us to bring you back with open arms? Like come on now.
But that's an
Probably
identity crisis.
Probably walked in like, man, I always loved y'all, man. I was just playing, bro.
But that's a person with an identity crisis. That's a totally different,
Yeah,
opposite subject. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
Nah, just like for me, like I said, I know people transfer for various reasons. It may be scholarships, it may be whatever. But I ain't gonna lie, it's like maybe I'm too loyal to a fault. I mean, being honest, if what I've endeavored through for Prairie View, you know what I'm saying? I don't think I could have marched for another band. That's Quan though. Like I'm looking at Fred Charles saying he transferred twice. And I'm pretty sure that his experience, he found the blessing in every experience through his transfer. But just me, I ain't gonna lie, I possibly couldn't, because I seen too many people transfer, and what some people did to them when they went to the next school was just like stupid. You know what I'm saying? It was just stupid. Like if you cross your section, you quote unquote had to deny the previous section prior to, and I mean, come on, bro. It was stupid. It was stupid.
I'm gonna tell you like this, and then we're gonna start letting guests in. I look at it like Greek life. Like, I'm gonna be honest. That one dude who went around the school for years, like, man, I'm gonna pledge this. I'm gonna pledge this. Probably got on, didn't make it, but then all of a sudden, a couple years later, they pledged something else, and then be like, man, fuck them niggas, man. Get them, dog. They trash. Like, no, bro. We knew what interest meeting you was at, son. Like, that's kind of how I look at it. Like, you gotta understand, like, if you're gonna transfer to another school, don't be trying to talk the trash, because we remember you in that uni. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just how I look at it, dog. That's my thought process. All right.
I feel you. Because just side note, I know a young lady. Her name is Blue Elephant. We're gonna leave it at that.
All right, let's bring in the first. Let's bring in the first guest, and he actually made it first. He was not playing today. Scarfinger, what's going on, bro?
What's going on, fam?
What's up, big homie?
What's happening?
Yo.
Look, this just in the past week. I had a couple of situations where this conversation is right on time. One, I am the person that you're talking about. I'm the person that loves it, loves the culture. I wasn't allowed to march. It wasn't that I couldn't, I was not allowed to march. My dad didn't see any value in being a musician. My dad's an ex-Marine shipyard worker. He didn't see any value in being a musician, so I wasn't allowed to march. Not that I haven't played an instrument. In fact, I played 2 different instruments. So that being said, I had a couple of situations in the past week, including one today, that is right on time for this conversation. One, I put on Facebook that it's hard being a HBCU marching band fan if SU was not your king. And I've said this before on other podcasts or anything like that. On a personal level, I think Southern is like the Beatles, right? And this is how I equate it in my own mind. Southern is like the Beatles. People who grew up with the Beatles in their life, they think that there has never been there's never been anything greater than the Beatles. But I'm a brother from Newport News. Like I don't know nothing about no Beatles. Like my pop music was Michael Jackson. And and I feel the same way about Michael Jackson that they feel about the Beatles. And I think it's the exact same way with people who live and breathe Southern all the time. I didn't grow up with Southern. I'm a Virginia dude. I like my Virginia bands. In fact, I made the mistake when I first signed up for the fifth quarter because I'm a supporter of all Virginia bands. I am of college marching bands. My first name was Michael the Spartan Pirate. And that was a horrible
You talking
mistake.
about on the fifthquarter.com?
Yes.
That was you?
That was me.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
I was also in fifth quarter history. I am the first person who suggested a podcast. I was the person who suggested a podcast because I've been a podcaster since 2009. And I've been listening to podcasts for longer than that. I suggested a podcast before anyone did one of those. The idea came from me, and I put that in the fifth quarter over and over again. Like, someone should do this.
Christy was like, "Nah, we good."
And I'm like, because I didn't march, I didn't feel like it was my place to do it. You know what I mean? Because I didn't march, because I didn't feel like I had, I ain't had no MEAC hours, I ain't had no SWAC hours. Like, I can't, I ain't had no CIAA hours. So I couldn't put, even though I know a lot, I understand everything, and I'm fair to everyone. I just didn't feel like I was the person to do it. So that happened, and then I got a couple people hitting me up in my inbox after I put that Southern thing. It's like, yo, that's real. But like, nobody said anything publicly, just in the inbox, just hit me up. Like I had one person share it, but that was pretty much it. Everybody else just kind of hit me on the low. Was like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, nobody's gonna publicly like go against Southern, bro.
Yeah. They to me, Southern is great, but it's like that episode of The Fresh Prince, where Will was trying to get Ashley's song to blow, and like he just kept playing it over and over and over again. And that's why I say Southern's media team is way too strong. There's way too much content, and I think some of it is just kind of too much to me. Like, it's just kind of like, okay, I've heard this song a million times, like, we good. But others don't feel like that. But me being a homer, I like Southern. I don't love Southern. And to be honest, I prefer Jackson, even though they write songs without counter melodies quite often, and it bugs me. Including that song that they just did. They just put out a SWV song, and it was just like, where is the rest of the song? And people were talking about how great the song was, and I'm like, where's the rest of the song?
As long as they recognize it, that's all that matters, bro.
Yeah, and I used to say that the difference between the SWAC and MEAC is like, the MEAC people, we prefer our songs to sound like songs. Because there's a lot of people that just kind of overblow, and it sounds like a busted speaker sometimes. And I'm just kind of like, that's not me. I've gotten used to it. I guess my ear being a Norfolk State over everything fan, my ear is different. Like, I hear things, I hear things, and I want to hear things differently than what a lot of bands produce. And so I'm used to it now. And with Southern being the internet's favorite band, like, I've seen a lot of Southern, so I'm like, okay, I'm cool with this, but it will never supersede. For me, that Beatles will never supersede my Michael Jackson.
Okay. Hey, bet.
And the second thing, there's a YouTube video came out on the 23rd.
Just
from
I'm just gonna say Justin is super weak right now. But
That let him, yeah, I know. That's why I made sure I tried to get mine in first. He can let me get mine first. After that, y'all can do what y'all want to do. Shout to Ghostface. There's a YouTube channel called Top 10 Jaw Dropping Facts, and they put out a list of the top HBCU bands of all time. And all right, so I knew it was going to go left because Southern was number 9.
Who was worse?
And then so if everyone was commenting about like Southern being number 9, or how do you not have Alabama State and all of this kind of stuff, and the person behind the channel just kept saying, where's your list? If you talking about my list, where's your list? And no one posted a list except me. And then I had people coming for me because when you start talking about all-time HBCU marching bands, I mean, if you know what you know, you have to list FAMU first. Who comes before FAMU of all time?
of all time,
All time, at all time, like
Wait,
all time.
and then we had. So wait, I'm just for clarity. You have the school, then the year, or it's just like the school.
They were talking about in the list. They were talking about some like historical things that they've done over the course of over the years and all of that kind of stuff. So, like, if you're talking about what they've done over the course of the years, FAMU,
what they've done,
like what they've done, not necessarily what they're doing. Because
then I would probably put Fam first, but I would also put Graham up there.
I was about to say, first if you talk about what they have done
with sound or anything. If we're talking about what they've done,
and you don't have Graham up there,
yeah. I mean, Gremlin's on their list. It's on my list. It's not, it was my personal list, so they're not at the top. But but like the idea that like everyone was coming for them because of Southern being at 9, and no one put their list except me, and then they started coming for me because I didn't have Southern or Jackson first, and I ain't even put numbers in mine. I didn't even put numbers in mine, to be honest. I just made a list, to be honest. What's good, Justin? I know it's coming. Come on, dog. Come on with it.
Oh, I'm over here weak as fuck. I'm talking about I'm weak. Like,
wait, y'all got to tell me. I know my internet tripping. Y'all know it's about that time they about to put me out. Who was number 1?
Let me go back and look because I don't really remember. Hold on.
Because I'm over on this list. Like,
let's let
I believe
Justin get his in because we still got other people.
Bethune-Cookman was 1.
Tight. Let's let Justin get his in, and then because we still got somebody in the waiting room.
I'm gonna just let Scarfinger. You just one of them people that you kind of just let talk Scarfinger. Like, you gotta think about it. The band world is this big. People think it's big, but like, you never marched in a band, right? You see them marched in a band. Before I put to my point, I don't have no swag hours, none. But like where I come from, in the band culture down here, Quan, you can test for it. Even with your 9 band hours, we can find out if you was like on a horn or not. Like, you must high school, pull a sheet of music out. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's your high school band director? Like, we can find out. But by you not having no lineage to see who you are, like, Berger, who are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's when people would give you that look, and it's cool. But anyway, that was interesting. Y'all left out the dry. I'm gonna say this. Back to y'all comment about when y'all was talking about the in a storm, like if one band played this and another band played in a storm. I low-key don't think y'all give the modern day spectators the credit they deserve. Like, we talk about Southern push the needle, right? You know what I'm saying? Southern is a stand up, we give them all the credit. Like, we're not talking about arrangements a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? Let's not act like that was a thing. Like, we, at least in the swag down here where all the band is at, we wasn't talking about like you heard that arrangement, like you heard how cold that was until like I ain't gonna say like the end of the thousands, like when Hamer was in that, you know, he started doing crazy, ridiculous stuff. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't talking about that wasn't the prominence of who won a battle on some, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day, used to be like, what was the most exciting? You know what I'm saying? Sometime arrangement, but not so much. So I don't think y'all give some spectators the credit they deserve, because if you smash in the Stone and like you say Jackson play a rap daddy and the rap daddy ain't bussing, I think most spectators will go they in the Stone. You know what I'm saying? Or y'all didn't say in the Stone, y'all said Getaway. Do you understand what the Getaway get? You understand how stupid that can get? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's a bad head fucking candy, you know what I'm saying? Like it can really go crazy. It's not the kids' fault they don't know classics. I'm gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? Being young guy myself, it's not their fault. Like y'all say they don't know who Michael Jackson is. That's a big one. They don't know who Michael Jackson. They don't know who a lot of these people. The generations are changing, and like, you know, we're the parents now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I know a bunch of my people my age that just I ain't gonna say piss poor parent, but like they didn't even know who such and such was. They didn't even have to clean up or do chores around the house to know what this is. I'm an old school guy. I like music from the 60s, like Harry Hippie. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. I go back in the book. So like it's not the kid's fault. So I wouldn't fault them, but I would definitely introduce them. And sometimes you gotta meet them halfway, like we always talk about that, Quan. Go to any Meek Mill song. You know what I'm saying? Any of these songs with samples in them and show them the original song. You know what I'm saying? Like Daddy's Home. I never knew what the sample to Daddy's Home was to the real Daddy's song was a song. The last point I had to make was the transfers. That was funny. You gave the example of the Greek life. I feel like don't fault the transfer. They transferred for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So like if this their new home, let them be delusional and act like they didn't come from the place because they transferred for a reason. I get it, you know what I'm saying? You can't go too hard. It just shows your fakeness. And like Derek said, I wouldn't be able to trust him. I wouldn't trust him either. But at the same time, you know the old program they came for was trash. Let them have that joy of being with these new counterparts, you know what I'm saying? And just make sure that they can hold their own and be a part of this greatness. Because sometimes like the transfers, they be garbage too. You know what I'm saying? So like that's why I have a problem. If you garbage and trying to talk, nah. But if you doing your thing, come be a part of the greatness. That's what I had to, in a nutshell, like a scoffing. I'm still weak at everything you said. Though. I'm laughing like in the back of my head. But that's my points, man. But yes, that's my point.
I want to comment on one of your points. The whole thing about how to reach the kids with this music, and the whole thing about the samples, like showing these kids where everything came from, is 100% how I relate to my daughter. My daughter's 14 and she loves K-pop, and every time she wants me to listen to K-pop, I'm like, you know, that sounds like that, right? Every song, it all sounds like most K-pop sounds like late 90s, early 2000s urban music. And it's just like, okay, that sounds like that song. And then she has no idea what I'm talking about. So I play her the music and she goes, whoa, okay, that's basically the same song. And then her and I started getting into the samples and we really connected in that way. And like I said, I was saying in the chat, like she bought an Aaliyah shirt when we went school shopping, and I was like, do you even know any of her music? And she couldn't name me a song. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna let you buy the shirt. And then as soon as we got in the car, I pulled up music that she's heard before so she could make those connecting points. Like, you know, she's heard a lot of this stuff she's heard before around me, but she's never made those connecting points that that's who this person is. She just knows that name. So she just, you know, she doesn't connect the music to the name. She just knows the name. Kind of the same situation with Ice Cube. That was said before. So I 100% agree with you. Like sometimes you got to sit them down and be like, this is where that came from. And it creates.
I don't even know who K-pop is. I'm over here lost. I don't know what it is.
It's Korean pop music.
K-pop should really be the new band music. Real talk. Go listen to it.
Yes, very much.
Yeah. Put like this.
I have made a vow to start writing K-pop music.
Facts. But put like this, bro. If somebody in the swag or somebody in the HBCU culture did a K-pop show, I'm telling you, it's gonna change the game.
It could hit. If
Don't change the game,
you
bro.
pick the right stuff, it could hit. Because I've heard more of this than I care to hear.
Prime example. Like I remember, and I don't know if Julian want me to say this, but Julian wrote something from a specific movie that had different various amount of artists and music. And Julian, if you want to say it, when I tell you, because I did the percussion for it, it jammed.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
It jammed, bro, and it's different. But with all sincerity, if the right band didn't play it, they possibly would get laughed at. But I'm telling you, the song jam though.
So you gotta execute it for it to be successful.
Not just execute it, but the right band has to play it because they'll be like, "Oh, that's whack." But I'm telling you, that particular song right there, let the right band play. All you got to do is hand it over, and they execute it the way it's written. I guarantee you, bro, it's gonna shut a lot of bands down. And then they'll be like, "We ain't never thought of to even play that."
Word up.
All right,
I'm gonna back out. I'm
somebody
gonna back out
in.
to let other people get in. Y'all know I like to come in here and stir the pot. I think my goal has been achieved. You're welcome, Justin. Peace out, y'all. Till next week.
Y'all left that man high and dry.
Man, what the hell? Hey, look, what did he say? Because look, I just got in here. What did he say that was?
Bruh, he said that Bethune-Cookman was the #1 band overall of all time. Nah,
no. That's not what he said. He said that he saw a list.
Oh, a list. Okay.
That
Well, that person list is tripping.
Yeah. He was saying a bunch of other stuff. When you got the camera like this, I don't blame you because if they get clips, all that stuff he was saying, I don't be on the screen when he said that, but that was funny. Yeah,
boy's tripping.
All right, let's welcome Portia to the show. Portia, first of all, I gotta give you the information because we just kind of finalized some things today. All right, but Portia is new family, so yeah, welcome her to the family. So, Portia, what you got?
A couple of things. So back to this talking. Let me say this. Before I got on band staff, especially, I was a shit talker.
She was.
But I never did it on the internet. Like, I just think that's something different. I think that's real stupid. The people that I see from the Legion that do it was sorry. And I'm gonna just say it.
Hello?
You know, the real ones gonna talk the shit in person. Like, you know, that wasn't good. You know, we could do better. I'm gonna give you the feedback. I'm not going on the internet and bash no program that I came through. I'm not gonna ever do that. I don't understand that. I don't get that. I really don't know that the internet is the place to be bashing any program. I mean, for what? It ain't gonna change the program. So what we doing that for? But the people who were in the band with us that do it to Norfolk on the internet, I just look at it and be like, sorry. How many times you didn't check off? How many times you got stood up in the band room and didn't know your music? If we calling a spade, let's play that spade.
Well, Portia, let me add this to what you just said, Portia. And Portia, you know I love you. We've been friends for many, many years.
Yes.
It's certain sections. I'm sorry, Portia. Please talk to me at homecoming. Please talk to me.
I'm not gonna not talk to you.
But it's certain sections, Portia. I don't see how they talk shit. And Flags is one of them. I'm sorry. Like, man, y'all drop spin. Sorry. Like, I don't see.
Well, see, okay, I'm gonna be honest, and God don't get me fired, Rick. There was years in here where on a college level, I should not be coming to rehearsals before homecoming and you drop the flag and just look at it like it don't belong to you. When I'm getting calls that the section leader going to take naps during band camp, I'm gonna talk shit to you. When everybody come off and they dead, so that means you aren't training, that means you aren't putting in the time in rehearsals. So you sorry. So I'm gonna tell you sorry, and I'm gonna tell you to be better.
I ain't talking about that portion. That part, I think we all can agree on that. I'm talking about, and this ain't even talking about, like you said, I ain't talking about Norfolk State. Because in my opinion, Norfolk State got the best color guard in the HBCU band. I'm not talking about them. But when it's a member of any school's color guard saying, hey, y'all band suck.
Oh no! Now I don't think you
been
should do that
playing.
unless you got some. Now, unless it's blatant, Rick. If it's blatant, some stuff you just gotta call out. You know, sometimes, you know, I'll give you a prime example. We was riding to DC this weekend. Chanel's daughter was in the car with us. She popped in a DVD from one of them band battles while we was in school. And Lord Jesus. Some of them sectional battles, baby, it don't take a rocket science to hear that some of that should have never made it out the band room. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait a minute, Jesus, somebody should have listened to that before you brought that out here. Because no, sir, I don't understand how we ended up here. I was listening to that tape like, Lord Jesus.
Well, what about you, Justin and Quan, coming from the SWAC? If a member or somebody flag section told you your band sucked, how would you react to that?
I don't know if I would say that to them. I don't know that I would say that to them. I might think that, and I might say to one of y'all, well, you know, that sectional battle wasn't quite right. But I don't know that I'm talking shit to a band.
They go twofold because I wouldn't even entertain the flag. But let me tell you something that do be crazy. How many times y'all ever heard a dancer or auxiliary get somebody together in a band, like you said, and they be absolutely right? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the flag give more credit. Like a dancer or flag tell you sad. He might be telling somebody, well, sad. You got to take into consideration.
But here's the thing: if everybody know that person was trash, they'll look at him and be like, "See, we've been trying to tell you. We've been trying to tell you." But now
the other flip side to that is, like Rick, like I said, when people used to stand up in the band room and have to play. I'm not a musician, but I know that shit didn't sound like the nigga before him. Okay, like I mean, for real. Like,
but here's the crazy thing: when the young lady did it, like I'll never forget, and I'm gonna just say her name because you know her, Julie, and she from Willow Ridge, trumpet player, Austin. She's TBS Shasara too. She stood up and was like, "This person, such and such, you ain't doing such and such." The whole band hall was like, "Damn, you ain't gonna fight her." Like, so just tuck your head, bro. Just play your part right. And that was it. I was like, damn.
But the thing about it too, Quan, like at Norfolk, you couldn't say shit to the Silks. They always was on their shit. They were tight. They were the best marching set. And I know some people at homecoming gonna cuss me out. Ain't nobody marched with 90s more than the Silks. Not one section in the whole.
Nobody disagrees with that. Absolutely.
Not one. Like they were one of the top marching sections. So it wasn't like we go, man, well, y'all suck too. No, they don't.
But here's but Rick, let's be fair. And I said this on the last show that Portia was on. Let's be fair too. You also know the Silks was not gonna let you come and talk to that mess to them either. You know them Silks is gonna handle you. Like they putting the man. They putting the balls on you. Don't let it fool you. The Silks don't play, bro. I told I was scared.
Quan,
I was scared of my freshman year.
Hey, Quan Justin, the Silks is like a requirement. You got to be able to spin and you got to be able to throw them hands. If you want to put some paws on somebody, you can be a Silk and OG. Because OG, people used to talk that shit to OG. I remember Henri, God rest his soul, man. You talk that shit, dog.
I've seen him lay people out.
Dog. We used to fight OG on the hill, bro.
Yes.
They was not playing. They was not playing, bro.
I seen him pick a man up off his feet at that Kentucky game because he told him he wasn't gonna move for the Legion. He picked that man up off his feet and escorted him to the edge of the bleachers and sat him down. I said, "Oh my God." Here's the thing I wanted to address.
Yeah.
Yes, Henri did that. Here's the other thing I wanted to address. So I don't know that I've experienced somebody transferring and not humbling themselves or completely forgetting about where they came from. But let me give y'all an example of somebody who rode to the end of time. So my rookie brother, John Paul from Atlanta, he was from Atlanta.
JP, yep.
Transferred to South Carolina State. Now this was some I ain't never heard of before. He was already MD. He had to transfer because he couldn't afford to keep going to Norfolk State, and South Carolina State was giving out money. He went down there and said, "Look, I'm already MD. I'm here to march for school. I don't want to be in y'all section." And so then in 2009, when I stopped marching, I went down there to a game. I got a picture of him in South Carolina State uniform going like this. He never became a bongo. He was MD to the end. And so what's worse? Like somebody who forget where they came from, or somebody tell you to hold your section. I don't need that shit because I'm already MD. So
was he cold?
Huh?
JP was cold. JP
cold one in the section. You can't tell. I ain't gonna say can't tell him nothing, but like, you like that? What you gonna tell him? You gonna put him out? Put him in the hole? What you gonna do?
So you know, it's which one is worse? Like, I don't keep that shit, or
I think keep that shit worse because you're not about to come disrespect me. I don't care if you.
But was it disrespect? Because he didn't want to be in a section.
You in a whole another uniform repping something else. Like, I'm surprised some MD don't fit. Well, if he liked that, like that goes. If he was cold and he could burn anybody who coming from, like, he wouldn't be in my section like talking that shit though. But I mean, yeah. If he cold,
he wasn't in their section. He played drums for South Carolina State. He was never trying to be in their section.
I mean, he wouldn't be in the drum. He wouldn't be beating the drum wheel. Never mind, I can't say that online. He wouldn't be in our uniform. Period.
Hey, no, that's not true, Justin. Because if that band director gave you a spot on that field, it's tight. They can't hold him back from that.
Okay, Julie,
he went in there and did his job.
Julie, hey, it's ways to get people out the band, man. Stop acting crazy.
Not because, but not because he don't want to officially be a part of the section. If he got all the music,
are we foregoing talent because he don't want to be in your section? Because he was a beast. He was nasty.
I know obviously he was. For him to march the rest of them years and like, he had to be somebody cold, period. You know what I'm saying? But I guess his time is different. That's that MEX stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that wouldn't, man, ain't no way. And I ain't gonna say MEX. I'm gonna say South Carolina State. That's disrespectful on their part. He had a picture.
I don't see it as disrespect. If somebody came to my section and said, you know, I'm already whatever, I just want to march. Okay, girl, that's fine.
Well, I guess it's cool. I just know somebody will watch this live and be like, yeah. I ain't saying he got to play in the section. I mean, when I say in the section, I mean just like drumming him. Period. Would that be able to fly at Norfolk? Somebody from WT. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's
well. I mean, I couldn't answer that question for anybody from MD, but I will tell you, if somebody came to the trumpet section at that time and was just like, I don't want to be a dizzy, and they just wanted to play, I mean, it would be a hostile environment, but I probably, or more than likely, we're not going to kick them out. We're not going to not give them the music.
Like, we just going to hang out with them.
Right. You're just not going to be a dizzy.
You're not invited to the sections.
Right. And real talk, I'm going to keep it 100. Like, if he was a cool person and he just like, I don't want to be a dizzy. All right.
Okay.
Fine. That's not gonna hurt my feelings, you know what I'm saying? Because you're still contributing to the program and to the section. So,
and most of the question: what if there was another section and they wanted to become a dizzy? Do you think that would have been possible? Could it be two?
I don't get your question. Maybe I missed
if he crossed another section, another school, or whatever, and he transferred to Norfolk and he wanted to cross the section up. Was that was y'all?
Yeah, that happens all the time.
That happens all the time. My rookie brother came from where Cofield come from?
Cofield came from Grambling. Grambling. Cofield is Silver Dog from Grambling, and he came and he's bodacious and he's the longest running drum major at Norfolk State.
Damn. Well, I mean, hey, they have to certain people.
If you pay your dues once you hear, I don't care. All of the rest of that is formality. Mm-hmm. As long as you show up and do what you're supposed to do, all the rest of this is fluff. Whether you want to be in the section or not, if you're contributing to the good of the program, the rest of that is extra.
That's what I said earlier.
Because not trying to be funny, if you think about it, I can't name all the sections from no school but Norfolk State. either your program is good or it's not. There are people who follow certain programs are going to know all the sections. And did y'all hear such and such today? But overall, is the band good or are they not? Because I kind of feel like when you start calling out certain sections.
So how you feel about what he said earlier about somebody transferring and bashing their old program? How you feel about that?
Well, I don't know what they went through at the other school, and maybe the other school is trash. I mean, we're not gonna say they trash because we went there. Now, if you were sorry while you was there, that's just not accurate. You know, was they sorry or was you sorry? You know, that's a different thing. I think.
Let me give context to the example that I gave.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say the exact schools that they came from, but it would be like the equivalent of going similar to the equivalent of going from Norfolk to A&T. So they marched at Norfolk, went to A&T, and then got to A&T, was like, man, them boys trash, man. They sorry, man. They ain't got nothing over there, man. Like that.
If it's not accurate, then it's a problem with you. Now, if you upgraded programs, but I mean, the other part to that is you're no longer there, so why you worried about them?
Right.
I mean, the only reason why I gave it as an example is because said people, because it's been more than one person, but said people have been online making these comments. So that's the thing.
No, see, that's just extra. What? Why? For what? For what? What's the point of that? You're no longer there. You're in what you're claiming to be a better program. Be in that better program. I'm not doing that. I think that's unnecessary. You know, if you upgrade, why are you talking about the past?
Ain't that big a deal to me either, especially if you're good. Like, shit. If you sad, don't act like you.
Right.
I want to let Chuck get in this, man. He just been waiting patiently.
Nah, it's all good, guys. What up?
What's going on, bro?
Y'all can hear me? What up? I guess I'll jump on. I was going to talk a little bit about the internet stuff, but we'll jump on the transfer thing. And I put something in the chat. I don't know if you guys have seen the HBCU band experience, the book that Christy Walker and I'll drop the link. It's Amazon. It's a bestseller on Amazon. Anyways, they did it last year, and I had an opportunity to write for it. And I talk about what's actually in the chat, and you guys touched on it. Portia did specifically. Again, I transferred twice. You know, I won't go into my whole story, but I do know that if you can play and you're good at what you do, you know, then that holds like extreme weight. And I know for me, again, I started at Fayetteville State. I did not want to go to Fayetteville State my first year, but money, single income. My dad was, and I'm from that's my hometown. So my dad's like, look, you going there, A&T's not giving you enough, you know. And then what people don't know, that program, we ain't never had scholarship money, you know, there. So A&T was my dream school. Couldn't go there my first year. Had a horrible experience my first year in school. Like, I'll be transparent. I didn't have applied instructor that first year as a music major. So I knew something wasn't right. I knew I was supposed to be getting XYZ, and I wasn't getting it. So I found a way to make that gap up, and, you know, told my dad, hey, after this spring, I'm withdrawing and I'm going to Greensboro. So I went to Greensboro, and my time when I was in Greensboro, I never thought I would be back. I thought it was a nightmare, you know, to be back in that situation my freshman year. During the time I was at A&T, I played in two sections, freight train, old baritone section known as Chucky Ducky. I was a student arranger and a conductor during my time at A&T. Due to personal situations, you know, and declining health of my mother, I moved back home. Now, when I moved back home, I decided that I was just going to do the concert band, the wind ensemble. I already had my hours, you know, for all of my ensemble credits and stuff. I was just trying to get out. At that time, I was a super senior, you know, and so when I transferred home, the band was in a rebuilding stage, Fayetteville State, between 2006, 2007. And as a member of Kappa Kappa Psi, they did not have an active chapter at that time, and so I used to help out with the stuff that the bros do. I was just used to it, just that prior year I was a dean and held the office in my chapter IZ at A&T, and so doing all those things. When we were doing check-ins for that next year band camp, guess how many tuba players showed up? One freshman. And so my band director at the time that really just passed away, Mr. Timothy Chambers, I remember after having a conversation with my mother about it, because again, my whole purpose was to come home, help take care of my mother and finish school. I was like, look, I asked my mom, she was cool with it. And I was like, if you need me, you got me. I couldn't, it bothered me. It bothered me that they only had one freshman coming in, and that's just not my DNA. And so I ended up playing tuba that season. And I never talked about my experiences at A&T. People would ask about it and stuff. I'm like, hey, we're here at Fayetteville State, and I really had to lean on those of you guys that know the purposes, know what they are, and know what they stand for college bands, not A&T band or not Fayetteville State band or not Northwoods band. It's college bands. And so that was something that I had to, swallow, but I knew where I was, and I knew it was going to help me get better. And lo and behold, that next year, I wasn't planning on it because, again, we could do the timetable if you want. I was already in the band way past my prime, and I was asked by leadership to audition for drum major. I ended up making it. And so I was actually drum major that next year, at Fayetteville State, and we ended up having the largest band in the school's history that next year. Not saying me, it was a lot of work and just everything. It was like a perfect storm. And that was the band you saw at Honda in 2009. I don't know if you guys remember. And if we can, pull up the footage from there, it was actually one of the best groups. I had an opportunity to either march with Fayetteville State. That was my first year teaching. So I came out of retirement to march with either Fayetteville State or A&T. And I went with Fayettille State because that's where my degree is from. But I tell folks, that's where my degree is from. But A&T is always my heart. I was there the longest. That's where I crabbed. That's where my chapter's from. But it's kind of I don't know. I have kind of a dual loyalty to both. I've sent kids, I think over 30-something kids to Fayetteville State. I've sent about 20-something, to A&T, and then of course bands all over the country, just being honest. And so I get it on the transfer level. It's definitely a huge piece of humble pie. But if you can play and you're all about the growth and development of that band, then I think most folks will be like, hey, we rocking with you. But I have seen folks come from other places and they're not humble. And you kind of find out what we call the band facts about them, that they really weren't that good where they came from, and they flunked out of school. That's why they back at home and things like that. And then that ends up, causing issues. I've seen it on both sides.
You're a different case. You was more like the prodigy. Okay, you was cold on your horn, but Fayetteville State, they needed you more than you needed them. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me tell you, I just be honest. It was kind of an unknown. We always said that Fayetteville, North Carolina, is a gem. There's 13 to 15 different high schools, and there's some beasts that come out of it, but nobody wants to stay home. Nobody wants to stay home. Everybody wants to go away. And under the tenure of Mr. Chambers, and then Jorm Reed, and then now Austin Chalmers, which is one of my high school buddies, we graduated a couple years apart. They're actually getting homegrown talent. It's crazy. People that go to Jackson, a lot of them are from Jackson, Mississippi. People that go to Southern, a lot of people are from that area. They grown up seeing the band. That's where they want to go. But for some reason on the East Coast, everybody wants to go away. Everybody wants to go away. They don't want to stay home as much. And I know, and I talked about this as a consortium as well. I know I was there at Fayetteville State at the time that I needed to be there. I always said that A&T taught me the grind, because again, we were the early 2000s. I mean, I was telling my kids the other day about having a chip on your shoulder. And I never forget when we played FAMU in 2002. And we had a 2, almost 3-hour fifth quarter. And what people don't know, going down to Tallahassee from North Carolina, we didn't have any AC on the bus. We didn't even get to stop for breakfast. So just imagine how hot and how agitated you were. And we got off that bus, put them uniforms on, and I know I brought that up. I brought that up because I was telling my kids about bonding. When we had to go to the consortium, we only had one bus. We had an issue with our transportation, all on one bus. Concert equipment, stuff like that. We were all close to each other, and then we had a great performance. And I told them, I was like, the same thing happened to me when I was in college. There was no AC on that bus. It was hot as I don't know what. People were in their drawers and t-shirts. And we just tried to survive, but we bonded together. And when we got off that bus, man, we kicked tail, And so some of those moments are like priceless. And so, again, I just wanted to speak out there for the transfer students. I experienced it twice, and I know coming into the ANC situation when I first transferred, it was what helped me is because I could play. No, I wasn't the greatest, but I could play. And so it made my transfer process easy. They were like, oh, he can play, and so I kind of got in charge of all the rookie trombones. It was my responsibility to make sure that they were good to go. So
if you had to go to war with one of them bands.
Oh, you know what it is. Come on now, you know what it is.
I like you like 09, man.
No. But let me tell you. I will take that 07 Fayetteville State band when I was drum major. Not just how I was drum major. I will take the sound of that band up against anybody. People that heard it understood. That band had just enough. We had like 10 tubas, 11 tubas, maybe 6 trombones, 5 or 6 mellophones. Like it was just enough to rock and roll. And the sound that just came out of the band. I mean, the arrangements was coming out of old school, old school Jackson State and Kentucky State when Dow Taylor was at Kentucky State. Like it was just different. And I know for me, like being down the hallway in the music lab before I was in the marching band and I'd hear them practicing like for a basketball band, I remember just like, my ears perking up, like, what is that? I need to know how to make that type of sound. And so it was just right what I needed right at that time. But again, it's kind of a dual loyalty. I'm sure there's some other folks out there like that as well, too. So again, I always say, Fayetteville State's where my degree is and where I learned a lot about being a band director. But, A&T is always my heart. That was my dream school. And I got to live it for 5 seasons, and so it was a blessing.
So Chuck, I want to say 2 things, man. The first thing I want to say is I want to make it very, very evident that when you came on and, you let us know that you did transfer to 3 schools. The first thing you said was you're not going to go into that story. And you then eventually went into that story.
I'm sorry, man. But thanks for pointing that out, man.
No, you're good. But the other thing was, I don't know if it was legally correct for you all to be on the bus in your drawers.
I
understand it was hot, but
we had to survive. We had the emergency thing open to try to get some air in. We were trying to survive, bro.
But no, man.
The correct term for what you experienced is you were hazed for a long time.
No. Hey, we did it ourselves. It's not easy to do it.
We gotta watch the H word.
Right.
But no, bro. I appreciate your story, man, and it's one heck of a story. And everybody's situation is definitely different. I'm not gonna
right.
I just think in these band streets, man, especially when it comes to social media, it just completely has changed the game on how we perceive a lot of our situations.
Yeah.
And so I think someone like you in the situation that you were particularly in, I just don't think that you even had the outlet like social media to just talk about that stuff all day. You had work to do.
No, not at all. I wouldn't even have said that stuff on the 5th quarter or any of that stuff. Like,
we were a different time, man. We were in a different time.
No. Yeah. Like people didn't know. I remember the first game that I marched when I was drum major at Fayetteville State. It was versus North Carolina Central, which is like A&T's rival, and all my chapters, everybody was there. They didn't know that I was in the band. It was kind of like I kind of kept it to myself. I was just doing my own thing, and they saw me, and they were like, "Oh my goodness, like he's still," and so it's definitely it was definitely a humble experience. But I would say my people were happy for me because they knew the transition, what I'm saying, what I was going through at that time, and definitely band was the savior. Band was the savior during that moment. Just real talk, and again, it's in the book, but we don't talk that talk. My mom had passed in between that year. My mother had passed in between that year, and so I needed something to cling on to. And all I knew was music and band, and that helped me out a lot. And so it was more of a instead of like, oh man, he's over there. It was like, man, like, we're glad to see you still doing what you love. Now get your ass out of school and graduate and be a band director. So that's how it was.
Absolutely. All right, bro. We got to get some folks to drop off. Justin and Chuck. I want to keep Portia on since she's family. All right. Appreciate y'all, brothers. Appreciate the support. We're gonna bring in Will. What's going on, Will? This is young brother here, my dizzy brother. Dang, I forgot. Will, I brought you in, didn't I? Oh, I feel old now. All right, man. What you got for us, man? And by the way, Will's the last one. We ain't taking no more because Lord knows it's getting late. Portia got to go. Will, you're on mute. You're on mute. There's a little mute button there. You gotta hit it, and then you can talk. Man, you in the military? You don't know how the mute button works? Oh Lord.
All right, we good. We good.
There we go. There we go.
How y'all doing? Hey, Portia. It's been a long time. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the transfer thing too myself, because I was at Norfolk State with you guys. Like Luke said, he brought me in class of 2004. After that, I went into the Army band for about 10 years. And then now currently at Fayetteville State University. They just opportunity for me here in North Carolina. And I do miss Norfolk State, of course. That's where my heart is, my dream school, the only school I applied to, same thing. The only thing that I do here really is I try to bring ideas to the students. It's definitely a different generation, like how we were talking about, how you guys were talking about earlier with the type of music they listen to. To me, the music department as a music major is supposed to be a different universe. It's supposed to be people practicing all the time, creating music, creating ideas nonstop. And when I got here, that wasn't happening. So I actually encouraged some of the students to form their own groups outside of the small groups that they were doing. It was like, hey, even if you got to put together all the saxophone section outside, this ain't marching band sectionals. This is working together as a section, doing a master class, arranging some music that we can perform. And I was able to encourage a bunch of students to do those type of things. And I know I said it in the chat, but the teachers, the faculty definitely care about the students here. But different generation, it's hard to convince the students that, hey, you got to come to class. You gotta practice. You gotta be on top of your thing. I'm the only trumpet player, the only high brass music major. So naturally it's my responsibility to work with the rest of the high brass students that aren't music majors. My goal is, I want to say the COVID year, they didn't have a program at all here in North Carolina, at all. They had nothing. So people got here expecting to be in the band and didn't do anything for a year. They didn't play at all. So they're still recovering from that. And I'm working with them on a concert band level, working with them on fundamentals, trying to get them up to at least a collegiate level, trumpet section. So that's where I'm at with the with transfer thing. I think it's beneficial if you're bringing something constructive. But if you one of the people that's just, I would never go to a school and say, oh, this ain't like Norfolk State. Norfolk State was way better. We know how to do it. I would never do that. It's true, but I wouldn't say that to anybody, because I don't want to, I got to learn a new alma mater now. You know what I'm saying? I graduate December 2022 finally. So that's where this is gonna be it. And then I'm gonna go somewhere for my master's, hopefully Norfolk State, but that's another conversation. So
I don't know. I mean, it may be, and I think Justin is the one who said it. It may be just the MEAC thing. I don't know, because it seems to me like transfer students coming from the MEAC are the helpful ones when we go from one space to another. The ones who are trying to make change or trying to make a difference, or just trying to play, not necessarily trying to be. I don't want to say the aggressor, but trying to be the one that's always talking to crap and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. That may be the case. I don't know. But congratulations to you, brother. I'm truly happy that you're finally finishing up, and I tell people this all the time, man. That degree don't say how long you've been there; just say when you got out, and that's it. So it's all good, man, and I definitely am going to support you in all of your endeavors. And I see you got that new Adams horn, man. So so I don't know if you
yeah,
can do
man.
anything with it, man, because I ain't heard you play in a long time. You might be just trash now because you probably but no, man.
Now the Army got me
It's
right.
good
The
stuff.
Army got me right.
Yeah, man. I saw all your videos, man. I saw all your videos and your pictures and stuff. So that's what's up, bro. Anything else you got for us?
Yeah, I just want to say I definitely I'm trying to spread the word about your show. I talk about it all the time at the university, trying to get these young people to watch it. I don't know if anybody know him just yet, but Austin Chalmers is the director of bands here at Fayetteville State. He took over after Dr. Reed, and he doing some things. I mean, the concert band sounds amazing. They're not where he wanted them to be yet. We only have enough for a concert band. We don't got the whole university and symphonic wind ensemble thing going yet, but they focus on sounding good. They don't sound like the rest of the CIAA bands. Uh, he write the recommendation letter, so I ended up having to go to the CIAA tournament with them. I did not march because I'm physically unable to march, but I did go to CIAA and play with them. And the focus on balance and blend and intonation, it reminded me of Norfolk State. Like there's nothing for me to say because he's teaching that. He has a comprehensive music program, and it carries over from concert band to marching band to jazz band and every ensemble. So yeah, I'm trying to spread the word about your show over there. Hopefully, I can get some people to start watching and supporting. So yeah.
And I appreciate it, bro. And I appreciate the support, man. And I haven't checked out Fayetteville State in a while, but per your recommendation, man, I'm gonna go check them out and see what it's like, man. Because we need to continue to talk about those programs that are worrying about those things and are building the musicianship. So I'm definitely gonna go check it out, man. And I appreciate you, brother. We definitely do, man.
Thank you for having me.
Man, anytime, bro. Oh, my face be all right. There we go. All right, man. It is. It has been a night. This has definitely been a night to remember. The chat was definitely on fire, and everybody was on fire. Portia, I'm gonna get with you. Like I said, we finalized some stuff, so I'm gonna be sending you something. But seeing as you're here and you are definitely a new part of the family, we're gonna close out with how we normally close out, but we're gonna close out with you on here. But before we get out of here, well, no, let's do it the right way. Derek, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture, bro?
Man, let's try to take a step back, man. Let's get back in control of the music we play. I think if everybody gets on the same front, man, we can bring back musicality in the game. You spoke about that situation about getaway versus, you said getaway, right? Yeah. Getaway versus rap daddy, right? How about instead of doing a rap daddy, both of us play some funk? At that point, we can broaden the horizons of the current audience, man. So let's try to bring the culture back. We are in control of that. Sorry.
Absolutely. All right, Portia, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
First things first, be the kind of bandsman or outside bandsman that you wanted from your alumni. Don't overdo it. Don't be online bashing your programs. Your program is your program. It helped make you in some way, shape, or form. The other thing is talent is talent. If they transfer into your school and they bring in something to the table and they not completely sorry, embrace those people. That's all I got.
They're not completely sorry. They can be sorry, but they can't be completely sorry. Hey, that's one thing I didn't even think about. They 50% sorry is okay. All right. All right, man. The only thing that I have is just make sure that you guys check out the store, pick up your merch at passionis.online. That's actually the new website. I can actually say that now. So at passionis.online, pick up your merch. You can use the code LukeBD and get 15% off your purchase. That only happens all the way until the end of March, which is coming up very soon. I think it's tomorrow? So you have until tomorrow to get your little 15% off your purchase, man. I'm telling you, it is definitely going to be useful. All right, so please use that code. Other than that, man, it has been a great show. Make sure you click like on the way out. All right, other than that, we will see you guys next week.